let's talk about Dark Phoenix, the brand new X-Men movie from X-Men Studios.
Marvel Studios.
No, not Marvel.
In association,
Fox.
in association with Marvel.
In association with 20th Century Vole.
Yeah.
That is the first time anybody has laughed at that joke, and I didn't even write it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's some old Monty Python.
Well, okay, so I want to clarify. So
Uh-huh.
there is a Marvel Studios influence on this because they owned it before it was released, and they did change it a lot.
Did they make the particle effects bad on purpose? So
particle effects?
Yeah.
Which particle effects are you referring to?
I'm talking about how. Do we want to give our scores in case anybody wants to skip this segment?
Sure.
All right. So
I hadn't even thought about it.
I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Man, really?
Yeah. Yeah, because after this we're gonna get into spoilers. Because why not?
My first instinct was to go lower with a 5 out of 10, or 50 out of 100, however you want to do it. 30 out of 60. Because I really did enjoy some parts of it, but it's very, very select. Like it was over a very specific chunk of time.
Yeah.
Of the movie, very specific. But overall, it was not good.
Yeah.
Not good at all.
So, how long was that chunk of movie?
Man, probably did 20, 25 minutes.
Okay, so very little of this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it may have been up to 30. I'm not really good at judging how much time.
So I would give it.
Just based on that, give it like a 30%.
Well, I don't think that it's 100 minutes long.
No. So it's 120.
So, yeah, so it's about a 50.
About a 50. That was close. Close.
No,
that's not right.
No, it's way lower. It's like 20.
Yeah.
20.
That's if. Now I'm not saying but the rest of the movie wasn't absolute garbage. Let's just move on. Okay, so I'm gonna stick with my. I'm gonna say 6 out of 10. I think that's fair.
Wow. See, I own this.
Yeah,
one.
I'm gonna say that's fair.
Okay. So the thing is that this thing across the board, actually, we're pretty close. We're pretty close to the Metacritic. No, the Metacritic score is like 40. Like across the board, people just hate this movie.
Yep.
So I guess we have to talk. Oh my God, we're doing quite contrary.
Are we?
Yeah.
You can talk about what's good about it.
Yeah, like what's actually fun about this movie, because it is not devoid of fun, but it's got plenty of stupid.
It does have plenty of stupid. But I want to be fair to the movie, so I want to say this before we get into it. Or we can say it after, but I think it's fair up front if people understand why it's bad. And I looked into this, and the reason it's bad is because Marvel Studios was involved. This was after the purchase. I
knew that they were gonna tank it on purpose.
Well, it's not that they tanked it on purpose. It was because the reasoning is
sound. You
sound.
about to read me an official statement?
No, I'm not. But the reasoning is sound, and I completely understand why it was trashed. And it's because they went back and do a bunch of reshoots. And the part of the reason they had to do so many reshoots is because of there's two reasonings that I heard about in different interviews with the actors. The actors basically clued us into some of the stuff that's going on. There was the villain, the alien, the faceless, boring antagonist that was the aliens. They were supposed to be Skrulls.
I thought they might.
They were supposed to be Skrulls.
They're called like the D-Shar.
Yeah, they only said the word like once.
Yeah,
and that bothered me through the entire movie. I was like, who are these people and why do I care? And the reason was because they didn't. And the other reasoning that the actors gave was that it was the ending was too similar to the ending of Captain Marvel. So because those two movies were too similar, they decided to change this one, of course.
Honestly, I liked the ending.
The very ending was fine. Like
yeah.
I didn't. I wasn't all that upset about it.
Oh, but were they gonna sympathize with the Skrulls?
That I don't know. At least a faction of the Skrulls what was going to happen was.
I mean, the Dishar, like they aren't wholly unlikable in this. They're not wholly unlikable.
Right, but so what was going to happen apparently was that the end scene was going to be Xavier and Eric going to the White House to talk to the president about this, and they were basically going to. The actor that talked about this in an interview was the guy who played Cyclops, and he couldn't remember exactly how it was, but he was basically saying they were going to the White House. They were going to tell the president, try to plead with him about not doing certain things, and then Phoenix was going to show up, and then she was going to fight a bunch of Skrulls that were like the White House, like the president's Secret Service, like they were all Skrulls, and they were going to fight.
It's not that similar at all.
I know, but I'm not saying I don't know exactly what details he left out or what he recalled was exactly correct.
Uh-huh.
But then what was going to end up happening was Dark Phoenix was going to say her goodbyes after the battle was all over and everything. She was going to say goodbye to everybody, and then she was going to take off, like just leave.
That explains so much of this, and that now I want to get into spoilers.
Okay, we'll get into spoilers then.
I guess some people do watch the stream.
Mm-hmm.
So how long? How you want to give us? You want to give ourselves 30 minutes?
Is it? Do we need that long?
I got a lot to talk about.
Okay, fine. How about 25? And we'll see how we're at.
All right. Yeah, at the 25-minute mark, you can dip back in, and we'll say, "Okay, leave. Still spoilers."
See, what I should do is put the timer on the screen.
That would be a trick.
I could do it. You just gotta fill the time while I do it.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize. Yeah. No, because one of the things that absolutely bugged me about this movie is that there are obviously some scenes that needed more dialogue.
Yeah.
That just like a lot of those moments were just Jean and Mystique going, "Jean, please." And then Jean's like, "You don't understand. Get away." "Jean, it's okay." "No, it's not." And if you think I'm exaggerating, go watch the movie.
That's what it was.
and like, these are both really good actors.
Right.
They're very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
It was just awkward high school play coming out of them. Of course, one of the things, I actually really dislike Mystique's design. I know why it's like that. It's because if they gave her the whole Rebecca Romijn Stamos treatment, like it would be a pain, and it would be harder to get her to do these movies.
Oh shit! Sorry, guys. you're streaming and we're seeing that. Okay, I'm gonna fix that real quick.
And we'll edit all this out later.
No.
But you have to suck that down.
I'm going to.
All right. But yeah, now she's basically blue grease paint, a stippling effect with a little bit of gold, and then like a bunch of like stickers.
Yeah.
On her forehead. That's it. That's her whole thing.
There's our timer.
That's okay.
I can make it a little bigger.
Yeah, it ought to be, I think. Just because it's what people are gonna. Although, should it be there? Because it's like.
Where do you want it? Right here?
Huh? Maybe the opposite corner.
Is it right here? I can put it behind your lower third.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, the thing is that I never really understood why Mystique was the leader of the X-Men anyway.
Yeah.
Like it definitely the first scene of the movie definitely suffers from it, because it was like the first episodes of the X-Men cartoon show where Morph was on the team, and that was a team that was very focused on running across vacant lots and punching Sentinels. And for Morph to contribute, they literally had to give him a gun.
Yeah.
Now Morph they invented for the show. But the thing is that every time they used Mystique, she was like secretly the president. Oh my god!
Every time.
Yeah, and like she used her power in the obvious way, and this one was
she never used her power.
She used her power to turn into Jennifer Lawrence.
Right. No, she never used it
as soon as she was in the presence of mutants.
Right. No, I noticed that. But I'm saying she never used it as a tool to fight bad guys. Never once.
Yeah. Either way, so time to do spoilers. All right, so spoilers now. Okay.
Oh.
What?
No, keep going. I gotta fix it.
Oh, I see it.
It moved.
So the thing about them needing all these reshoots, and I'm guessing taking out dialogue altogether, speaks to how dumb everybody is in the movie. And I know that they framed it up exactly the way that they ought to, but did you buy any of that everybody hates Charles decision thing?
That was That seemed a little forced.
Yeah,
like when Beast went off on him.
Yeah, in case you haven't seen the movie and you just don't care about the spoilers. So Charles, they hold true to what Charles did in X-Men 3, where Jean has a tragic past. It's not that the Phoenix is in her; it's a space spirit. And actually, I like the way they introduced the Phoenix Force. But she has a tragic past where she actually apparently she has like extreme social anxiety.
Yeah,
and she doesn't like a lot of noise, and she can literally accidentally read thoughts. And so she freaks out and she starts knocking people unconscious. She knocks her mom out while she's driving, and it causes a car accident that kills her. And so
kills her mom.
Yeah. So and so her dad's like, thanks but no thanks.
Yeah.
Charles is like, okay, kind of a dirtbag move, but I'm Charles Xavier. This is what I do.
Right. I'll take her. Yeah. I'll take her off your hands.
And so that she's not a destructive force, he, being the only person in the world who could possibly help her, starts to put together a scaffolding in her mind to make sure she doesn't have these incidents anymore.
Not a scaffolding, walls.
That's what he called it.
Really?
Yeah, he called it scaffolding.
Okay, that's not accurate.
Kind of like to prop up individual parts of her psyche and in a way wall off memories.
I think you only use that word because it sounds better than walls.
Yeah, that's true. But the thing is that like as
they refer to him in the movie as walls as well. Yeah.
As soon as everybody learned about that, they were like, Charles, how could you do this? This is very clearly, specifically your fault now. And the whole time I was like, didn't he like do it successfully for like 15 years straight, and it took a literal force of nature to undo this and cause even the semblance of a problem?
Yeah, absolutely. You think you'd get a little sympathy from somebody.
Right? At least his best friend Hank.
Right.
Bare minimum.
Right. Who's also a very intelligent guy. He's a man of science, so you'd think that he would understand some of it.
Hank McCoy in this movie is an idiot. He is so dumb in this movie. It was distracting because Beast is like third or fourth favorite X-Man, and he's just so dumb. Like, and I don't mean like emotionally unaware. I mean bad at science. Bad at science.
I was trying to figure out, because there's a point in the movie where he disappears. He goes to see Eric, and everyone's like, "Where's Beast? Are you fucking kidding me? He took the Blackbird. That is a very loud machine that the Earth has to open up for it to take off.
The basketball court.
Yes,
you lose the ball every time.
Yeah, exactly.
You see it every time.
Yeah. I just don't understand why no one knew that the Blackbird left. Like, you got to be kidding me.
To be fair, that does not adequately answer the question, "Where's Beast?"
Right.
Because it's stealth. It's a stealth ship. He could be anywhere now.
Stealth to radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's gonna find it?
No,
I guess Charles could.
Well, no, that's true. No, it doesn't answer the question. But no one. It should have been Beast takes off in the Blackbird. Oh, what's that noise? Someone's taking the Blackbird somewhere. Hey, where's Beast?
Yeah.
Oh, he took the Blackbird. Like, that should have been the train of logic. It's a really nitpicky thing.
How do you even recognize if it's Beast anymore? Because he seems to be able to. He seems to have Mystique's same power, where he can choose to be Blue or the actor that's under the makeup.
They established that?
They established in the Days of Future Past that you can,
because he wanted the serum that would cure him.
Yes,
and then that ended up making him blue.
Right, and then later on, in Days of Future Past in the 70s, he and Charles are abusing it like a drug to suppress their powers for years.
Right.
And like them snapping out of it and like coming to help the X-Men is kind of like, it's almost like an allegory for like giving up heroin.
Right.
And like they give up the drug, and Charles loses the use of his legs, but gets his powers back, and Beast turns blue again, the blue and strong again.
Yeah, I just didn't think Beast had the option.
He doesn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing.
So they didn't establish that.
Unless he just has like the fastest withdrawal ever.
Right. Okay. What?
Even then, it's dumb. I know why they're doing it. I know why, because they don't feel like putting them in the makeup over and over again. But if you don't feel like putting them in the makeup over and over again, make a different movie.
Right.
Like they're blue, and we like that about them.
Who was it that played Mystique in the first X-Men movies?
That was Rebecca Romijn Stamos.
That was not true.
That is 100%.
Is that true?
Yeah.
That's not true.
It's true.
That's not true.
It's famously true.
Is that true? Internet, is that true?
Gene, come back to us. It's okay.
What?
So we just kept saying the same thing over and over again. Thought we were in a goddamn scene from Dark Phoenix, Days of X-Men.
Okay, it doesn't matter. But my point is that actress didn't cut any corners. Like, she had to wear that makeup all the time.
Yeah.
And she and it was very uncomfortable because back then I think it was even more of a process. They didn't just throw stickers on a blue person.
Right.
So
well, also she wasn't as expensive as Jennifer Lawrence. You know.
Oh, as an actress?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, as an actress, she was.
So Jennifer Lawrence can actually lay down the law and be like, no, I'm not.
Oh, definitely. Because they set her up as the leader, like she can. Okay, actually, with an X-Men movie, if anybody gets uppity,
yeah,
fire them. Bring in a relative unknown to be an obscure fan favorite. There's no reason to not have a new Gambit by now.
Well, yeah, but they canceled the Gambit movie they were making. They're making one with
Magic Mike.
Yeah, Magic Mike.
Yeah, what's his name?
I was gonna say 21 Drum Street.
Okay. He should just legally change his name to Magic 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's gonna bug me if we don't learn it.
Yeah. I'll just look up 21
So
Jump Street.
here's the okay. So I said Hank McCoy was literally stupid in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It has to do with what happened around the Dark Phoenix time.
Channing Tatum.
Mm-hmm. So the team goes out into space, and
that was the worst scene.
Actually, I like the space scene. I like this. I like that every X-Men has a little something to do, except Mystique.
Yeah, the one who's
like,
rescuing everybody all the time.
Yeah,
Xavier.
Yeah. And I have to do all the work around here. I have to fly the ship and give pep talks. I mean, Peter has to run at the speed of light, and Kurt has to bend time and space.
Right.
And Storm has to make ice crystals out of an environment.
Can she do that, by the way? Is that accurate?
Devoid of moisture.
I know she can control weather.
She controls barometric pressure, and she can do so at like a moment's notice.
So she could just be Ice Woman if she wanted
to. She wouldn't be as powerful as Iceman.
Okay.
Iceman is producing a tremendous amount of heat.
Right. No, but the point that when Jean was over there, like, what was keeping her from just dying?
I think she was. Like, they didn't talk about it, but if it was anything...
You think it was her powers stopping it?
I think she can pressurize herself.
Okay.
I mean, in the actual Phoenix event in the comic books, that's exactly what she did. And she did it for years.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. She was at the bottom of Jamaica Bay in a coma while using her powers. Like, the Phoenix in the comics was never Jean.
Right.
Yeah.
It was always Dark Phoenix.
Well, it was always Phoenix.
Phoenix, whatever.
Yeah. So, they go out into space. They have a little adventure. They actually use a weapon on the Blackbird, which I thought was cool. Cyclops has a little periscope.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, he can shoot his lasers.
That's a good idea.
I liked it.
I like that idea.
Because, like, it was always really lame in the other movie. It was like, oh, no, we're in trouble. Does anybody have a useful power? No? Okay, Storm, you're up again. So, Jean is over there. She's pressurizing herself, which is officially a fan theory now.
Yeah, because they never address it.
A cloud of visible radiation attacks the ship, and all of it becomes absorbed into her body. Mm-hmm. Mystique has the brilliant idea of bringing her back onto the ship, where she could very easily irradiate everybody.
Sure.
And then they land the ship at a school, and Hank doesn't say, okay, you all have to go into a big lead room
until
I figure this out. They just kind of come back and everything's fine. And then he gives her a little Hank gives her a little checkup. Gives Jean a checkup, and he's like, "Well, I don't understand what's going on here, despite the fact that I am the foremost expert in mutant gene in mutant gene therapy.
Gene therapy.
I have no idea what's going on here, but whatever it is, it's enhancing your powers, and you're not irradiated even a little bit, even though it's very obvious that a huge amount of energy entered your body and then went nowhere, breaking the first law of thermodynamics."
You're good.
So, go drinking. Literally go drinking. We'll see what happens.
Go to a party with a bunch of other kids.
Right. And I think she's old enough to be faculty now.
Yeah.
Go to a party with your students.
Right. And drink.
Yeah. Having this unstable power that I don't completely understand, that I know is enhancing both your psychic and telekinetic abilities.
I had to roll my eyes a little bit when that party, when she started going nuts at the party. It was Mystique and I think Beast. They're inside the X Mansion in the lab or whatever, and all of a sudden they have a thermal camera pointing at like just monitoring things at this party. I'm like, who does that? What is this?
Okay, that made sense.
How would that make sense
for an X-Man party? That makes sense. Like the X Mansion.
That's how you know if things are getting out of control. As if they're eating up, literally.
Well, yeah, it's an entire high school of superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
But did you I appreciated the Dazzler.
Is that who's doing the concert?
Yeah.
When that scene started, I was like, "What the hell is happening right now?" Because it was a quick jump cut. It was the first time you saw the aliens, and then you saw that party going on. I thought this was like a party happening like down the street from where.
Yeah, I got vibes of that too.
I was like, "What is happening?" And is this a concert? Is this a famous person? And I was trying to piece it all together. It wasn't until they actually started talking, and they're like, "Oh, we're having an X-Men party." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. No, those the Dazzler. They did a really good costume on her. I just wish that she had been singing disco.
Yeah.
Because that was her thing. She was literally a disco queen.
Yeah.
And that's when she was her coolest. She has her power actually made sense for what she was doing.
I think after the movie first came out, I saw some people on social media saying that they really wanted to see a Dazzler movie, like where she's the main character, which would have been cool because isn't that what Jubilee was based off of? Is it like her powers?
I don't know if
was Jubilee created for the show.
I don't think so, but maybe.
Okay, I thought someone said that at one point, but I think that would have been cool. I think if they're ever going to bring back the X-Men and do it right and do something similar to what the TV show was, because that was a really awesome show.
Yeah,
is they need to do something.
The first movies were pretty similar.
Yeah, but taking it from the perspective of, because they used Rogue as the Hobbit, kind of in that one, where she was the introduction the audience needed into the X-Men's world.
Yeah,
I think seeing it from the perspective of someone like Jubilee or Dazzler would have been kind of cool too.
Yeah,
but anyway,
Dazzler was pretty worldly. Dazzler's. She's just.
We got 10 minutes left.
She's a disco queen, and she toured and
so
stuff.
So she wasn't as new to everything.
She wasn't the kind of person who wouldn't adjust quickly and would need a lot of.
Just do Jubilee then.
Just do Jubilee.
Just do Jubilee.
Oh, or can we just focus on Kurt for one day? He's the greatest X-Men of all time.
He had the coolest scene.
Super
one of the coolest
intro,
scenes. So you want to hear about the chunk of the movie I really, really liked?
I really do.
I loved the final fight scene on the train. That whole sequence was super impressive.
Yeah.
Just visually. And it was one of those where I felt like they didn't pull any punches, where like a lot of times you can poke holes in these movies by thinking, well, why didn't Magneto use his power to do this or this or this? And I felt like they just did.
Yeah.
A lot of the things.
This was high level X-Men stuff.
I loved it. And Magneto was on fire, I thought. Like he just started, you started the only time I thought he used his power in a stupid way was not that fight, but when he brought up a subway car during the fight.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why?
He's trying to close the door.
He could have used anything else. He could have used stacks of cars and just put them in front of the door.
I think he was actively trying not to kill people.
Well,
I guess
they all fled their cars. Yeah, there was a bus in front of it.
Which I really like that scene. because
it was alright.
While there's digital touch up in absolutely everything, and the best CG you never know.
Yeah.
But it seemed to me that they were using a fair amount of stunt work and set pieces.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it felt like people like rolling around and jumping off of stuff.
Absolutely.
Where like with something like even like the the Cap versus Cap fight.
Yeah.
In Endgame.
Yeah.
Like you can tell like okay. They don't really even do wire work anymore.
Right.
So, like, a couple of times they just put in a couple of CG caps. And I remember thinking, oh, I wonder if Scott's going to roll out of the way of this because I know it's going to be a stuntman.
Right.
And so, like, I was, like, literally worried. I was like, Scott could really hurt his shoulder. Like, there's stakes here.
that fight scene wasn't too bad. This is a subway car.
Well, it's also interesting because there's civilians around.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I really did. I thought they did a really good job on most of the fight scenes in this movie. Mm-hmm. And just flat comment. I think there's a lot of good effects that they did.
Where the subway or the train car thing fell flat for me was that the bad guys are such boring.
They are boring
designs, and like the thing is like they finally break into the first subway car, or the first train car. So then they have
the lead one.
Yeah, they have to pull open the doors, and you get a slow-mo shot of them, and they're just normal people.
Yeah,
and it's like here to destroy the world, the J.C. Penney's fall collection.
Here to destroy the world is Bill and Fred and Janice.
and also the way that they could be dispatched, and they could never be dispatched, they could only be inconvenienced unless you did something like crush the whole car around them.
Yeah.
But like even like
which he did.
Like Magneto, my favorite image from the scene is just when the lead one, the one that looks like Galadriel.
Oh yeah.
He's got all the guns.
Yeah,
every single
that was
gun.
awesome.
And like just in slow mo, he's pumping round and round after her, and the casings are raining down on the floor. It was just beautiful imagery.
I loved it.
But like, so that was one of them, and like a couple of times, like Nightcrawler would like snap a neck, and they'd go down for a sec, and I was like, okay, does he just have the secret sauce on how to take? Well, he is supposed to be like top 3 hand-to-hand fighters in the whole world. So,
and he finally kind of let that loose in this movie, what I thought was amazing. He finally went berserk and just unleashed on him, which I thought was really cool.
He should have got a hold of a sword. Somebody should have.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. Or actually, the thing is that he's probably best equipped to take these guys out because Nightcrawler is a very, very benevolent person. And they wrote that into him because they kind of overpowered him a little bit. Yeah. Because he can choose to take a person with him, or he can choose to take parts of a person with him. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. He can straight up grab your head and teleport away with it.
Which he would do all the time.
Yes.
If he was an evil person.
Right. So like it would have been fun for him to like maybe learn this in this scene because he never even occurred to him. Yeah. You know, and so like.
But he really hates you. Like he's just gonna take your head.
So like somebody grabs him and he grabs their hand and bamps and like then he's like got it and then he looks up and he's like, "Boss." And then, like, suddenly it's just poof, 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 as he's bamping around somebody, and then they're just a head that falls on the floor.
And the thing is, I feel like they figured out that what's his name? The Quicksilver? Yeah. Like they figured out like he's the answer to almost all the problems. So they just hurt him. Like he's hurt for most of the movie. Yeah. He's just out of commission. We're just going to take him out so he's not always the answer.
I mean, that's like... They did that at the end of Apocalypse, too. Yeah. And it's like a little twist of the ankle.
Yeah.
And like, he moves at light speed. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no... You can't argue that he doesn't. Mm-hmm. He very clearly moves at light speed.
Although... I mean, that makes some sense to me why they would take him out of the movie. But...
It's a bigger problem to solve. Huh? Just give him a bigger problem to solve.
Right. Well, I thought, imagine that last train scene with him there. Like he would literally take care of everybody. He could just take all of the aliens and put them in front of the train, like Kurt did that one time.
Yeah.
And have them just run over. Like.
They should have given him like a helicopter to fight, or like he had to like.
Oh sure.
He had to like outrun the train or something. Because like how fast he actually goes is a huge variable.
Sure.
Because based on the way he saved literally everyone in the X-Mansion at the same time, versus the speed at which he put a fishbowl on Kurt's head because they went to space with no spacesuits. Yeah. Thanks, Hank. Yet again, the dumbest X-Man for some reason. I also didn't buy the whole thing that. Speaking of the train scene, because a lot of this has to do with like Hank and Raven were forming a relationship, and they he's mad at Charles because Jean killed Raven, Mystique. And he's like, it's your fault because you made the X-Men, basically.
He's not the smartest when it comes to figuring out the logic of these things, because it's all circumstantial. If we wouldn't have caught the alien radiation cloud, everything would be okay.
Yeah, in fact, it could have been the exact same.
Yeah.
They said, like, without her having a traumatic past, it could have been just as bad.
Right.
They said that it was altering her personality.
And Hank knows why the X-Men exist. He knows that the great publicity that they're doing for the rights and stuff of X-Men.
Yeah.
Like they're doing a lot of good. That shouldn't be lost on a character like Hank.
It's also they're
like especially since Hank, I remember from the cartoon, was the wisest of all of them.
Oh yeah, by far.
Yeah. It's just nuts.
Yeah. Okay, things that I actually liked about it was like how 60s this whole thing was. I love the X-Phone.
Oh, yeah.
I love that they have a direct
straight to the president.
Yeah, because of course they do.
Oh yeah, why not?
They're the X-Men.
Right. Absolutely.
And like the action wasn't devoid of creativity. The the purpose of the story itself I thought worked. Mm-hmm. Which the narrative was kind of all over the place, but this had a lot to do with like the perceptions of peoples within a society. Mm-hmm. And like how quickly the humans could turn on the mutants.
Absolutely.
And, like, humans do that to one another all the time.
Right.
We turn on one another for, sometimes really surface level reasons.
We turn on the freaks.
Huh?
We turn on the freaks.
I mean, there have been like psychological experiments that have been done throughout the modern era of psychology that show like they don't have to be freakish. They have to be designated different,
right? Yeah,
and then you start mistreating them,
right. No, I was just making a joke. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that freak label, you could make anybody a freak is really what I guess what we're getting at.
And so like that was actually good, and like they did it well, where like in a very small amount of time, mm-hmm. like the humans are just like, screw the X-Men. Yeah. If the X-Men are gonna fight in the street, all mutants are bad, and we're going to completely dehumanize them and put collars on them and drag them away like dogs. Absolutely. Like literally like a dog catcher.
Yeah.
And that's heavy-handed, but it was effective. Mm-hmm. So the movie is fun. It has good ideas. It's got good bones. I like saying that. It's got good bones.
It does. No, you're absolutely right. And they had, like you said, they had really good actors in it, and they did really, really... They did good performances. Like they acted the best they could. There was a ton of reshoots for this movie.
Yeah.
I think what really collapsed it was Marvel obtaining that segment of Fox, and that's why we're left with something that seems a little hobbled together, not making a lot of sense, with a terrible antagonist. It's just not the Dark Phoenix, but really it's the stupid alien race that nobody understands why they're there. Nobody asked for. Nobody wants them. Nobody cares. I would have loved to have seen I feel like this is one of those things, like, especially for me, like this similar feeling I got when Zack Snyder left the DC movies. I wanted to see what ultimately his vision would have looked like. I would love to have seen where X-Men First Class and whatever from that starting point.
So our timer just ended. Yep. Now I think that we're pretty much out of spoiler territory, despite the fact we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
Because we're postulating a little bit on what these movies would have continued to be like.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think I would have loved to have seen if Fox did not acquire, if Marvel had not or Disney had not acquired the section of Fox, I would love to have seen the next movie to see where we would have gone, because it looked like we were finally going to come to what traditionally X-Men is, which were, you know, in the classic days it was Magneto versus his mutants versus Xavier and his mutants.
Right.
So we never got to that full on conclusion or that conflict in these X-Men movies.
I've consistently thought these movies were So,
I thought they were pretty good.
Okay.
I thought they were a lot better than the original 3 X-Men movies, but apparently, I
disagree.
I know a lot of people disagree with me on that.
Hundo.
I hated them. I did not like them at all.
You hated 1 and 2?
I did not like any of them.
3, there's a lot of weird stuff.
X-Men's weird. The third one's weird.
Yeah.
But no, I did not like any of them.
They'll never top.
The second one,
Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler. They'll never top that.
No, he did a great job as Nightcrawler. But I just there's something about those movies that felt so.
I mean, they're a little cheesy because they're low budget.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're low budget for their time.
Right.
And then on top of that, they don't have modern techniques.
Right.
I mean, Toad was cool.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
I did not like Toad.
You didn't like Toad? I love Toad. Toad was such a slam dunk for them that they actually redesigned the character in the comics to be more like Ray Park.
I'm saying Ray Park was fine. He did what he was supposed to do as Toad. I just can't get out of my mind when Storm fried him or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like a bad one-liner. I don't even remember what it was.
It was, do you know what happens to a toad?
Oh, the same thing that happens to everything, yeah.
Yeah, which actually, that had a great reaction. I remember that having a good reaction.
Really?
In the theater when I was a kid.
All right. I don't know. For some reason, I could not. They did not sell me on the X-Men in those movies. I liked the new generation of X-Men. I liked this version of Eric, and I liked this version of Xavier more. Don't get me wrong. Patrick Stewart is amazing. I love Patrick Stewart. Do not at me. I love Patrick Stewart.
Did you notice that McAvoy is his name, right?
McAvoy.
Did you notice that he's, like, as the character's getting older, he's starting to do more of a Patrick Stewart impersonation?
Yes.
Yeah.
That guy is so good. He's so versatile. Just watch Split and then
Glass.
I finally finished that movie.
I haven't seen anything except Unbreakable.
Really?
Yeah.
Glass
are
is
there
worth a watch.
Are there 3 movies in the whole series now, or are there 4 now?
In that series, there's 3.
There's the original,
Unbreakable, Split,
and Glass. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, Days of Future Past was good, even though there was some dumb in it. There was plenty of dumb in it. I mean, you can't even count Wolverine as part of
not as part of that.
The Wolverine, the Japanese
no, that's something separate.
Hugh Jackman adventure.
No, that's yeah.
I thought Apocalypse was pretty dumb.
It was pretty dumb. That was the worst one of all of them so
and
far.
First Class was
I liked First
dumb
Class.
but okay.
I liked First Class.
Okay, I hated the way they killed Darwin, because Darwin's a favorite of mine.
Yeah.
I hated the way they killed Darwin, and I also hated the way his power worked, because they were just lazy with it, because they were like, okay, we're gonna have some fun, we're gonna drink some alcohol, and we're gonna play with our powers, and part of that is gonna be hitting Darwin with a baseball bat, and like Darwin for some reason evolves in that moment to have a big craggy shell over his polo shirt. Like it wraps his shirt.
Yeah.
Because it's about like Darwin, if Darwin thinks he's going to get punched in the chest, he could literally develop a turtle shell. He could literally do that. But his evolution, his quick time evolution, doesn't know he's wearing the latest Tommy Hilfiger.
That's true. That's true.
Actually, what was that? The 70s? 60s? Abercrombie & Fitch.
Yeah. Well, okay, to put a cap on this, I think that people should go see this movie if they're fans of the X-Men and stuff like that, because like there is some good stuff that came out of it. And just go into understanding that Marvel Studios and Disney just completely F the pooch on this one.
The expression isn't even.
I know.
I thought screwed the pooch.
You saw the wheels turning as right before I said
Disney
it.
really had sex with a lot of animals. How do you think Mickey Mouse came to be?
They screwed the pooch. They messed up. They put the tarred and feathered a walrus. That's weird.
I don't know. Getting
That's
weirder.
weird.
Yeah. You should have just said had sex with animals. You would have been better off.
That's a quote. But no, I think people should see it, understanding exactly what happened to this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the president scene that you were talking about that would have been the climax of this movie is very interesting.
Yeah.
Now we're out of spoiler territory, unfortunately, so I don't want to talk about what happens again. But I do think that they improved on the idea.
Yeah.
I do think that the final scene that we got in this movie was a lot more interesting. But yeah, Dark Phoenix, 6 out of 10. Not as bad as everybody wants to believe, I don't think. You do have to turn off your brain and accept that some of your favorite X-Men just aren't in this movie. Hank McCoy didn't decide to show up. The nefarious Mystique has been poorly utilized from the beginning of this franchise. Mm-hmm. And Nightcrawler's cool.
Nightcrawler is cool.
Yeah,
Nightcrawler is very cool, and Magneto has some cool moments too.
That might be a function of the fact that they underutilize Nightcrawler. They haven't had a chance to ruin him.
Right. But yeah, that's
all right. And that's the Dark Phoenix. See it today.
Or tomorrow.
Or don't.
Or wait till it comes to DVD.
We didn't give it that great a review.
Right.